It is Saturday. I feel good except for the fact it's dark. It's pitch black. I don't know how anyone stays up past 11 o'clock anymore. Dude,
I have been sleeping at 9:30. I went to bed 9:30 last night.
I try. That is Richard Sarvate to my right. I am Brian Moreno. This is the Brian Moreno Show. This is our Saturday sports show, and I have to say, of all the shows, this is one that I work on and I think about a lot because we give gambling picks on this, but the show had kind of evolved into just a gambling show, and that's not what I want. That's not what I started the show for. I started the show not only because I love sports and out of my love for sports, I started it because I feel like sports is such a... Sports can transcend lines like very few things can. And it's one of those things that no matter where you are in the game, whether you've been watching sports all your life or you just got into it because you co-host this show with me and I force it down your throat, no matter where you are on the sports watching spectrum, I believe there's something in sports for you. I believe there's something that you can either relate to or root for or against. We all love a villain. And sports has so many things about life that I enjoy. Talented people coming together, supposedly putting everything on the line because, I know I hate it when somebody doesn't do their job, like catch the ball.
Oh, my God, like Deshaun Watson with that snap last week. Oh, my God. Whose fault do you think that was? That the guy snapping it or Deshaun's fault?
So last week, the Texans played the Colts. The Texans had a chance to win the game. All they had to do was punch it in. I believe they were within the 5-yard line, and they fumbled it.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
I actually had to throw up after that.
Oh, sports, see, that's the thing. Richard Sarvate, to my right, the wonderful Richard Sarvate, he is not only brand new to sports, like this year, he had never really, it had never really affected you the way it does. You had never got to the point of vomiting, reverse peristalsis.
Oh, my God.
Before.
Now
not because of sports.
I feel like a real man now. Like, I'm fine, like my dick got some hair on it.
No, that's beautiful. Like, it's a beautiful thing. It's nature.
Yeah.
And there are wonderful storylines within sports too. I as we talked this year, like I like a lot of the equality that comes in sports because when it comes down to it, it's about talent. It's about who has it and who doesn't. About who's willing to put it all out on the line.
I like to bet on people who I feel like are like me.
Okay, well, that's one way. That's one technique to bet. That is one system of betting. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you would fold under pressure or not. Like, I'd like to, I've made plenty of mistakes gambling, but I like to bet against people a lot too.
Yeah.
People who I just think don't have it, or
I'm very fascinated with people who break under pressure or don't, because I would love to learn the skill of not breaking under pressure. There's even in billiards when you're putting in that last ball and everyone in the bar is looking at you.
See, my experience with barroom billiards is less than what you would think from a guy like me. I mean, I've owned pool stick or two in my day, played quite a bit growing up, but I was so streaky in pool. I like to win so much. I never really decided to play that for money because I felt like it was a losing proposition. So why do it?
Why? Why is it a losing proposition?
Because I'm I'm not consistent enough to gamble on myself. Like if I had to bet and I would throw the match to bet against myself. Like, do you understand? I like to win, especially money, so much that I would throw the match to lose the pool match just to win the bet.
Oh my God. They're like, "What? What's happening? He's betting on the other guy."
He's what?
And he's in the game.
Well, see, that was a lot of the problem with boxing. You know, because the boxers, you know, the undercards in Vegas, some of these guys, especially coming up in the 80s.
Oh yeah, dude! I watched that Marlon Brando movie, On the Waterfront.
Did he gamble on himself?
He used to be a boxer, and he's like, you know, they threw the match. You know, like, I had him. This is my Marlon Brando impression.
I understood. I didn't know if I liked it, but I understood it. See, and that's the other thing that I about boxing. It's like if you can pick what round a fight's going to end.
Oof, yeah.
And right now, the USC-UCLA game is on TV. I was going to do this show live, but I didn't want to put out something with bad audio, and I felt like the last couple live shows, I'm still just nervous about that. So today also, I'm going to talk some college football right now. Let's actually get to it. This was really a wonderful story today in college football. The kicker for Vanderbilt, she was actually the first female to ever score a point in like Big Five conference football. She kicked an extra point.
Wait, this is women's?
No, this was men's football. This was college football.
And there's a woman on the team?
Yeah, she's the kicker for Vanderbilt.
Oh, shit. I didn't know women were allowed on the teams.
Well, a lot of it would have been about skill level in the past, but you know, when traveling in locker rooms, there are certain issues. USC probably should have got a touchdown right there. They did not. I did put a few bucks on USC.
I'm very confused. So
yeah, Sarah Fuller. Her name
co-ed?
is Sarah Fuller. No. She kicked against Tennessee today in Vanderbilt. She was the first female to ever do a kickoff, but she also, as I said, got an extra point today and was the first female to ever score in Big Five, like the Big Five conferences, Pac-10, Big Ten, ACC, SEC, and I'm missing one conference, but either way, that's what it means. So yeah, Sarah Fuller kicked a field goal today. That's congratulations from the Brian Moreno Show. We were
big fans of Sarah Vanderbilt.
Well, I don't even know if they covered, but I am not. I'm a fan for anyone who can contribute to their team. You know, as long as things are done so that she's not like alienated or isolated in a way where she doesn't feel like part of the team, because that's no fun. Like if you're an actual part of the team, you should be treated as such. And I'm very much for equality. The thing is, when it comes to football and athletics, it's not just about equality. It's like men's physiques are different than women's. Like the actual build, like the bone structure.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just physically not impossible.
So is this woman trans, Sarah Fuller?
I don't know. No idea, but she's definitely strong enough to kick. And if you have any idea about kicking, it is not easy.
Dude, yeah. She probably has massive gluteal muscles.
I mean, I'm sure you could probably find that out if she did. I mean, but you got to have a strong core and a lot of football players.
Yeah. And
then I was very happy Iowa beat Wisconsin today. It was a little bit of snow out on the field. Iowa beating Wisconsin. And Wisconsin sucks. They proved me right once again. Indiana beat them last week, and then Iowa beat them today. North Carolina. Now, this is the thing about college football. It is done as a playoff system now. And the college football playoff is basically determined by a committee. So a committee gets together and they pick the top teams to play in the tournament.
Sure.
The top 4 teams. But the thing is, this year, there's such a difference between how many games some teams have played. Like tonight, Notre Dame is going to play Clemson, I believe. They're 10-point underdogs, but Notre Dame is 10-0. If Notre Dame wins, like you almost have to put them in. Or that's next week. Notre Dame plays Clemson. That's next week. That'll be a good match. A very good football game.
So weird they haven't played the same amount of games and they're still trying to make it work. It's like
no, and you know, it's like I understand why some of the teams and why some of the divisions canceled when they did, but they should have just been more open and ready to pull the trigger to get the. This is the current rankings right now. You got Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Florida, your top 6. I got to tell you
Alabama's number 1.
Which is par for the course. Alabama is, I mean, they take kids from California recruiting, which should never happen.
Oh, my God.
You should never, kids from California should never go to Alabama to play football. No, they just shouldn't.
I have never been to Alabama.
I've driven through. I don't really recall. You know, so that's and Alabama smoked them today because college football now, like I say, it's decided by a committee who supposedly votes. And, you know, yes, some of the voters are biased just like in any voting system. But college football used to be determined by, it was some algorithm, some mathematical formula that took into account, like it weighted your schedule and difficulty and margin of victory, things like that. So a lot of the schools were just blowing out everybody just because they had to prove to the computer. So they're like, oh, we're going to change it. We're going to make it better. And then now it's still the same bias. It's still, I mean, I think there's usually only 4 teams in college football that could ever really win the championship. But it's like, I'm just tired of seeing Clemson and I'm tired of seeing Alabama.
Is UCLA a contender at all?
Well, the winner of this game, this is going to help. Well, the USC just kicked the ball very badly.
Okay.
Very bad kick. This game will help both teams very much. USC, their offense, I mean, they are a more talented team here. I just have to say, UCLA's defense looks very good so far. And this is one of those weird games because the Pac-10 had started so late, and all of USC's games, they've all been so disjointed. And you know, it's very difficult. College football this year is very difficult. Like college basketball, the players are basically essential workers. The players basically live in a bubble. The players, and like they're so restricted on the things they can do. And
I don't know how you could play in a bubble because, like, imagine your whole day is doing nothing, and then it's like go play.
I can't believe that college athletes after this season. They have to stand up. They have to rise up and get paid. Like they have to. They got to strike or so. Like there's no way, especially the way they're treating these college basketball players. They absolutely have to get paid.
It's crazy that they have to go to class and then also practice for football.
Well, the football, they had a lot of choice to opt in and out. I'm sure basketball did too, but the basketball players, I mean, they're just trying to get them to March because March Madness is where college basketball makes all their money.
Hopefully that vaccine comes in before then, man.
Yeah. I mean, well, the vaccine's going to be coming around. It's just going to be about who gets it. And I mean, do you consider these players essential workers?
I'd rather they have it. Yeah. I don't, rather than someone who's delivering food. Yeah, let's get these guys.
No, well, I mean, they're producing money for these colleges. They're producing a lot of money for these colleges.
Yeah. Well,
now, hold on. We're going to get on the line. We're going to get Vegas Al right now. Are you there, Vegas Al?
I'm here.
How you doing, buddy? How you doing, Vegas Al?
I'm freezing. It's 55 degrees here in Vegas.
Congrats on this week, Vegas Al. You got Fresno State won and Utah won, right?
Yes, your picks were good last week, but and he had the Miami under. He said, "Remember, bet the Bengals team under," and that hit also. That was an amazing pick.
Under 14.5 it was.
Yeah, it was 14. They only scored 7. I watched that very carefully. Now, Vegas Al, do you think college athletes should be paid?
No. You know why?
Why?
Because they are paid. They get a free college tuition if they stay the whole 4 years.
Well, they do, but they also produce a lot of money for the university, and they can't work a job.
Well, I wouldn't have to change that system. You know, I wouldn't. You know, if you produce, you get a free college education to play ball for that school. If you do well, then you're going to get into the NFL. You're going to get an agent, and you're going to make your money. But at least you got an education for free.
Well, the margin, the people who actually make it pro is so small. And it's just the way these college basketball players are being treated this year, like essential workers, and they have to isolate. I just think the universities need to come up with some cash if they're not gonna let these kids work. Like there's a USC.
There's so many kids in college that play football, basketball. How would you get a pay scale on it? There's no way of doing it. It's impossible.
No, I mean you make a very good point there, and there would have to be some kind of pay scale because a quarterback.
That's the reason why they don't do it, because it's almost literally impossible to do it.
No, you're absolutely. I mean, it's hard to do, but the thing is, the NCAA has been screwed up for a long time, like the way they treat these college athletes. And
you can't open up a can of worms like that. I mean, the ones that excel, they know where they're going. You know, it's very simple.
And go ahead.
There's only 300 openings in the NFL each year.
Yes, 300.
And how many?
300 what?
About 300 college athletes really make the NFL the next
so
year.
How would you spend your money and pay all the other ones? You know how many there are total? Think of it.
Well, I mean,
we're already getting a free education.
A lot of the kids don't stay the 4 years, though, and
it says only 2% of college students ever get to the NFL.
It's low, like it's very low. And
take the. Let's just take an example. Let's take what's his name from Clemson, the quarterback, Burrows, right? Not Burrows. The quarterback.
Tyler. What's his name? Trevor Lawrence.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if he comes out, he comes out. I don't think he will. I don't think he doesn't want to play for the Jets. But whatever. How do you pay a kid like that?
Well, Trevor Lawrence, I mean, he produces a lot of cash for the universities. He really does. And
but what about his wide receivers? What about his running backs? I mean, what do you do with them? Most of them aren't going to make it. Most of them aren't going to make it into the NFL.
I know.
That's why you can't open that can of worms up.
I just think after a COVID year like this, I could see players striking.
What, college players?
Absolutely. Like there
goes their scholarship. You can't do that.
Well, the thing is, universities are going to have a real hard look at the way they charge students. You know,
every kid that goes to college and plays sports in college is either a full scholarship, partial scholarship. The only ones that don't have that are the ones that are walk-ons. Otherwise, you're basically getting education for free or somewhat for free. You can't do it. It would open up a can of worms. How many colleges there are? How many Division I, Division II, Division III? You can't do it.
But I also feel like colleges have a lot of fucking money too, don't you think? Like They charge kids like what, $30,000 a year at UCLA. I mean,
How
way more
about
than that.
how about the state schools? The state schools don't. Guess what? The
That's
state
true.
schools is different. The state schools don't get the money that these. Like, for instance, look at your Ivy League schools.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Well,
they charge a fortune, but guess what? They all suck.
yeah, a USC, UCLA, like they're gonna have giant endowments that other schools don't. And how are you gonna make a scale for a school that just has so little?
You can't do it because the difference in the ranking of the schools themselves is so far apart.
Well, it would
I mean,
kind
you
of
have, for instance, Stanford. Stanford, I think, is rated right now, ranked the third best college in the country. Okay, up there with Harvard. I mean, but Stanford has people that come out, has kids that come out and play professional sports. Harvard doesn't. When's the last Harvard? Yale. I mean, Harvard had
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
basketball. There were twins that played for a professional. I forget who they were, twins, but Stanford had Andrew Luck.
Well, Stanford also has Christian McCaffrey. Stanford is quite. I mean, Stanford for a school with such high educational standards, Stanford is quite amazing in the way they recruit.
Right. And the difference is that most of these colleges that have the highest ranked schools have the least amount of kids that come out of college into pros. Unless you have a major recruiting program, for instance, that never changes, like I'll give you like Alabama, like Clemson, like LSU. I mean, the SEC, their recruiting program is crazy. And people, all the kids, because they get, why? Because they get the television, they get seen, they get the agents go there, the scouts go there.
It is a trade-off, and you're right. You're right about the scale. Now,
how many scouts go to the Harvard Yale games? Brown, U of P. Come on, this is why these kids never make it. But they go for their education.
Well, now I got some more questions for you, Vegas Al. Preseason basketball. Who do you like? Who do you like this year going in? Because the regular season starts in 8 days.
I know they already had exhibition. Well, guess what? The Lakers, they're already buying their team. I think the Sixers might be up there. They made a really nice trade. We'll see how that works out.
Okay, now I hear
Ben Simmons, if he could come through, who knows?
The rumor on the street is James Harden has added the 76ers to his top, the top place where he would like to go.
Let me tell you about James Harden. And it's something I've always said, and it's something I always believed in.
Yeah, let's hear.
He's a great basketball player, but you know what? He's also a cancer. Whoever has him on the team would never win a championship. He's too much of a ball hog. And the other players, they get pissed off. They don't want to play with him because the guy shoots, guess what? Yeah, he scores 40 points a game, but he takes what? 40, 50 shots a game. Come on. He hasn't passed the ball.
Well,
he's a ball hog.
This is something that, because Richard is very new to sports, this like really, really getting inundated with it, especially through like some of the gambling talk and, the way I really pay attention to sports is, the finer details. Now, one of the things that I'm really trying to explain to him is like the difference between just like a star and a real superstar. Like superstars make other players better. Like a star can score 50 points on any night, but nobody else is shooting. They're not making anyone else. And that's a lot more apparent in basketball because there's only 5 men on the court.
You can't have 2, 3 superstars on a team and expect to win a championship. Miami did it for a couple of years. They got lucky with LeBron, Wade. They got kind of lucky.
They also won the championship with Shaq.
Right.
They did,
But he was the main superstar. But take Harden. Harden and Westbrook. I mean, Westbrook is a superstar on his own. Remember you had Westbrook, Durant, and there was somebody else on the Oklahoma team that it just doesn't work. Because these superstars want the ball. The rest of the team wants the ball too.
Well, there has to be. It's called usage rate in the NBA. It's like how much does the team use you, and when the ball touches you, does it go to other people or does it just stay with you? And James Harden, the ball sticks with him a lot.
Trust me. So whoever has James Harden will never win a championship. Never happen.
But then, what about Michael Jordan? He's a ball hog
Houston
too,
has
right?
some great teams, but and they've come far. But Harden, this is not going to work with him. Doesn't work with him.
The thing is, the stars like LeBron James and Michael Jordan, they make everyone else around them better.
Even though they're hogging the ball?
Well, LeBron doesn't necessarily hog the ball.
LeBron doesn't. He hasn't really hogged the ball. He's not a Harden.
Yeah, he's not a Harden.
He attracts more attention where he can pass off the ball and find somebody open than Harden does. Harden will take a shot where LeBron won't, or pass it.
And LeBron's, I think he just turned 36 these last week or so. But LeBron, LeBron, go ahead.
He wants to play. His whole key, he's hanging in. I mean, he just had a 2-year extension for $42.5 million.
They say he wants to play with his son.
With his son.
Because no father-son tandem has ever played together in the NBA.
Oh, my God.
Well, there was a father-son in the Sixers. It was Stephen Curry. His father plays with the Sixers, but they didn't play together.
So
there was. I'm trying to think if.
But LeBron, I mean, he's going to hang around till his son's ready to play. And whether his son is good enough or not, it won't make a difference because he's got the pull. What can you say?
Well, he's got big shoes to fill, man. His son. Can you imagine being LeBron's son and having to play basketball?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of sons, NBA players who have fathered other NBA players.
You got to be football too. Yeah, I mean, it's. But hey, look at the Mannings. And Archie Manning played for New Orleans, and you used to wear the fans in the stands would wear bags over their head. The team was so bad, the New Orleans Saints. And then you had Eli, and you had Peyton, and I mean Peyton excelled, but he was better than Eli, and he was better than Archie. But
Well, I bet Archie was the worst because I've never heard of Archie, and I've heard of Eli and Peyton, right?
Archie was good. No, Archie Manning was a good quarterback.
Archie, he played for the Saints.
Okay. He played for the Saints, but the only problem was he never really had a team around him. That was half the problem.
Now, UCLA USC is on Vegas, Al.
Yeah, I loaded up on you. I took UCLA plus 3.5, and I took them also big on the Moneyline. I don't think. Here's my theory. I think Chip Kelly with UCLA is finally getting his team together. They're playing every week. They seem to be getting better. USC beat Washington State last week, which is a lousy team, and their offense is so. The defense is good, but I think Chip Kelly's put it together. This is a big game for him.
Oh, this is a huge game for Chip Kelly. Yes, it is. Yeah. I actually thought USC was going to come out firing more.
Well, I just saw right here they just put it up on the board. UCLA just scored again.
Yeah, they did. Yes, we didn't do this one live today, but I'll send you the link. This will be posted right after so you can hear it. Now, what do you like in football in the NFL tomorrow, Vegas Al? This is a tough slate.
I'm going to give you a little stat. Remember, I told you last week about Cincinnati under 14.5 with Miami. Okay. Tua is having a pretty good season as a rookie, which is kind of unusual. He's actually 4-1 right now on this 5 starts that he's had.
Yeah.
Chiefs opened up at -7.5, and now they're down to 7. Now, let me just Two is his last 5 starts, he's thrown 7 TD passes without any interceptions at all. Last week against the Bengals, he had his best day. He had 296 yards passing and a TD pass, and they won 19-7 at home. And they covered a -10 line. Now the Chiefs are in here -7. Now it's down to 7. Okay, but I don't know if you're aware of it or not. The Chiefs, the last 4 games, have not covered the spread.
Wow, so you like the Chiefs in this?
No, I like Miami.
Oh, you do? That's going against the grain right there.
You got 2 popular teams right now in pro football. You got the Chiefs and you got the Packers, and neither one of them are covering the spreads.
Yeah.
You got Patrick Mahomes, you got Aaron Rodgers. They win their games. You know what? They're great with teasers, but neither one are covering.
Do you
the spreads.
think Miami stands a chance?
Well, let's put it this way. I definitely put them in a teaser.
Yeah.
And yes, Miami at home. Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. I definitely like that. What else you like, Vegas Al?
I hate to say this to you, but here we go again with the Eagles.
Wow.
Let me give it a little stat. New Orleans is in a trap game right now. Came off a big one last week. Had a big game next week. They're coming in against a team, the Eagles, with a starting quarterback, with a revved up team, with a new quarterback.
I gotta tell you, Vegas Al, I took the Eagles last week. I thought they were gonna cover. I thought all they had to do was make a tackle at the end of the game, and they would have covered. What is going on with that defense, though? They can't stop anything.
It's tough, you know. I would just lay it. I'd sprinkle a little money. It's up now to +8. I took it to +7.5. It's already up to +8. I put a little bit wager on them. I just think them being home, I think they're going to be spiked up with the new quarterback. And you know, it's funny. I was reading an article about Sanders from Penn State, the running back, and he said something about how the team is going to really rally around him. It's sort of like new blood. You know what I mean? How that happens sometimes. And I mean, we'll see.
Well, yeah. I totally believe that a team can rally around a new quarterback. I totally believe that. But the Eagles, they are so bad.
Especially, they're really not that bad. You got to count the injuries in. You know, and I'll tell you something. It's also, I believe very much it's the play calling on the coach. You got a great running back in Miles Sanders. The guy leads the league and runs yards per run, and they don't use him. That's what sets the pass up, you know. And they don't use him. I mean, you got a quarterback like Wentz who's getting killed in his passing game. You run. I mean, you got good running backs. I don't know what his problem is.
Wow, USC just scored an amazing touchdown. Holy smokes. That guy literally, how does it, that's the difference between college and professional. You don't just walk through people like that in the NFL. That's really.
Exactly. Because 95% of those kids are not going nowhere. But
we actually determined 98% of them. Right?
Oh
Look at that.
God,
He almost fumbled.
Even the best of the first and third rounders, when they get to the pros, it's like they go, wow, it's such a faster game. It's like, remember, I used to play 70 pro football, so I know, you know, and it's a much faster game. You get pros. Totally different.
So Vegas Al, right now we got you down. You are on tape as the Dolphins and the Eagles. What else you like? Is that all?
Well, no. I'm going to give you a couple things.
Okay.
I mean, for what it's worth, I got a teaser that I really like. I love the Bears in the teaser, getting 8.5 or 8, whatever you can grab it at. I think it's +1. So now you're going a 6-point teaser. You're going to get. I mean, +2, a 6-point teaser. You're going to get +8. As long as you're over that number of 7, you're okay. And I like to tease them either with the Chargers or with Tennessee.
You know, so the Bears, but in a teaser is what you're saying, because you don't think.
I'm not trusting the Bears, of course.
Yeah, well, the Bears play the Texans this week. The money's pretty evenly distributed. The lines.
Right. And Bears are at home. So if you get 8.5 points with the Bears at home against a team like Houston, I mean, I think it's good.
Now, did you see Houston last week, Vegas Al? Did you see how they fumbled on basically the goal line to lose the game?
Houston sucks. The only player they got is Watson. That's it. I mean, they got problems.
No,
I mean, the Bears have problems too, but
no, they absolutely do. That,
but they're home in a teaser getting 8.5 points. I take them.
Well,
I'll tell you another team. There's 3 teams that I love today. 3 dogs. There's really 3 dogs I really, really liked.
Yes.
One, I like Troy. Love Troy.
Troy.
Plus half. They already won.
That was today. Yes, I took them today. That was a play. Yes.
The show we also give picks that have happened already.
Eagles, and I'll tell you what else. I love the Lions. Getting 8 points at home. I mean,
Lions Packers, right? Am I correct? Yes.
Green Bay. I mean, it's rivalry all the time. And get 8 points at home.
And those games have a funny way of being close.
You better believe it. Yep.
Now, there's one I don't like laying so much wood, but this week I'm laying Tennessee. I just coming off that loss last week. I don't like that everybody seems to be betting Tennessee right now, but USC just intercepted the ball, a beautiful interception. I am taking Tennessee, but at the -7. I'd love it. I'd love it. Yeah, I would love that in a teaser to get it down in a teaser. And I have to do a better job of explaining this to new people. It's where you take more than one team and you change the line by buying points, but it's called a teaser for a reason. Right. Because they tickle your balls a lot.
It's teasing you, it's teasing you, and it's teasing your book.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you one more little thing before we go.
Yeah.
The Vikings are playing Tampa Bay this week.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Brady and Bruce. I happen to know Bruce Arians. I used to know him from years ago when he coached for Temple football, and he's got a certain way of coaching.
What do you think about the Tampa Bay game? This is good. This is
what I'm getting at. There's a problem with Brady and Bruce Arians, from what I hear. His way of coaching is totally different than Belichick, and Brady's not getting it. And it's just not seeming to be working out, and he's not very happy.
Well, I got to say, this is a big week for Tampa Bay. They're coming off a bye, and buys this late in the year aren't as important. Normally, a team coming off a bye is more prepared, but it seems late in the year doesn't matter as much. But that being said,
I think, truthfully, I would tell you my best bet. Okay, I got 3 best bets.
Okay,
Vikings plus 6.5.
Wow.
I like San Francisco -3.
Wow.
And the Colts on the money line. That's my 3 best bets.
Wow. You came in strong today, Vegas Al. I got to say, and that's the thing. Now that NBA is starting, we're going to talk some more. We're going to talk rumors and trades and things, because I realize that, the game-by-game analysis isn't exactly people's favorite. So this show is a work in progress, and you are a big part of it, Vegas Al.
Well, thank you. I try to do the best I can. Well, always work.
Yeah, well, yes, exactly. Well, we got your bets down. I will talk to you.
That's why they call it gamble.
Absolutely not a sure thing. I'll talk to you soon, bud.
You got it. See you guys.
This is a big week for Al. He took Miami, the Eagles, the Lions, the Vikings. I know, the 49ers.
He really gave it to you, but that's the thing. He's a very knowledgeable sports aficionado, and I really appreciate the drama in athletics. Mm-hmm. Like, I love the fact that for some individuals, sports is like a soap opera to them. It's a never-ending soap opera.
For sure.
You know, the characters kind of stay the same, but they're pretty much interchangeable.
Yeah.
Your feelings are exactly the same. I love them. I hate them.
And it's a lot of Mexicans, so you know.
Well, there's Mexicans everywhere, but I don't know if outside of Southern California, like this game, I would love to have seen fans there and how it would play out. But right now, the UCLA is up 14-7 on USC with about 5 minutes left is what we're watching. And for the people who watch this at other times, and USC is doing everything they can to not get a field goal. Now, see, this is one thing that I hate in gambling, Richard Sarvate, is when everybody loves a team. When everybody is on one side, it scares me. Everybody seems to be on Tennessee tomorrow, and that scares me to death. 73% of the money has been bet on the Tennessee Titans, as opposed
Jaguars blow ass, dude.
Well, they do. They absolutely do. They just.
But you're right. This -7 spread is too much. Like, yeah, the Titans. I don't know, man.
I don't think it's enough. I think this game is going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
This to me, you know, this is one of those games. If Vegas was closer, maybe I would go after the show.
Yeah, why is it only -7? The Jaguars have lost everything.
Well, it's not just about the -7. It's that the line hasn't really moved.
Oh, okay.
You know, the line hasn't moved, so I don't know why. Like 73% of the money is on Tennessee. That's too much. That's too much.
That is too much. Yeah.
That of all the games, that seems to be the most lopsided game. Besides, all the 69% of the money is on the Saints and Eagles.
Dude, I don't think the Eagles are going to win, dude. I feel like the Eagles,
which is very tough. Now I'm gonna see if I can get Jersey Josh on the line. I'm absolutely interested in some of his analysis. And for those of you who don't know, we have Vegas Al and Jersey Josh, regulars on the show. We also have Lincoln Musser, who's taken a few weeks off to reevaluate his gambling. So right now, we bring to you the one and absolutely only Jersey Josh. How you doing, Jersey?
Doing good. I'm doing good.
We just got
off. Tough games last week. I'm feeling a little cheated like Donald Trump, actually.
Oh, my God. That Texans game? Oh, God.
That Texans game, Jersey Josh.
Well, Falcons and Texans game both ended on the last drive, down on the goal line, and they both failed.
Well, what?
I want to check the votes, bud.
How do the Texans respond after a loss like that?
They beat the shit out of the Bears, I think.
You think so?
I think they beat the shit out of the Bears, but I'm not touching that game. That's hard to get a grip on that game.
It's tough. It's tough. Vegas Al likes the Bears, but he likes them in a teaser.
Okay. Yeah, down here in Jersey at the casinos, you can't do teasers. It's just straight up or parlays.
Oh, really? Why don't they let you tease?
That's the Jersey rules down here.
Oh, see, now every state within the next few years, it's all going to be legalized. Like, it's unbelievable how slow some of these, and they need the revenue money. Like, I'm a red-blooded American. How can I not walk to the corner and just legally place a bet like in Europe?
Yeah, well, we'll all be Chinese pretty soon, buddy.
Jersey Josh, I look forward to talking to you every week. God, I cannot say. Now, last week,
I was disappointed. You know why? Because those two games ended on the goal line at the same time, within a minute of each other.
It was last week was brutal.
So also, the Falcons were driving on the 10-yard line. 4 downs, could not get in the end zone. They would have won the game, covered the spread, won outright. They lost. At the same exact time, the Texans blow it on the line.
Unbelievable. Unlike last week was crazy. Now, hold on. I have Before we get into football, though, I want to know your thoughts on the NBA right now. We're about a week out. A week out. The Lakers seem good, but they seem like they're the most stacked team. But so did the Clippers last year.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't even look into the NBA for the first couple of weeks.
Well, the thing is, okay, I wanted to get to a question. What do you think about the rumors of James Harden going to the 76ers?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a done deal. End of the weekend, probably.
Really? Because James Harden wants the hell out. And understand that the owner of the Houston Rockets, also Tillman Fertitta, also owns a bunch of casinos and restaurants.
Don't forget, the GM from the Rockets is now the GM for the Sixers.
Yes, that Daryl Morey. Absolutely. Who has quite a relationship.
I'll tell you what, if they get Harden, it would be a big deal. But now that they don't have fans, I don't know. The place would be rocking with Harden.
Well, see, that's the thing. A lot of these basketball teams, you know how big home court matters.
Because right now, you can't even play. They can't even. They're not even allowed to play indoors right now.
So what are they going to do? Play in the parking lot?
What do you know?
So are you shut down in Philadelphia?
They are. I'll never shut down.
No,
some Jeep are shut down. I'm not shut down.
Yeah, so in a week they're not.
But the limits of people inside of a building is a lot less than if you were to play a basketball game.
Oh my goodness.
So if they field a basketball game and they play a game, what are you telling the other people who can't open up their business?
Well, especially the restaurant owners, man. Like they've done them dirty, Josh.
50 people can play a basketball game, but you can't have 50 people in your restaurant. I mean, I don't know.
No, I mean, I absolutely get it. It's one of those things that the economic damage from these people who have these leases.
Oh man,
it's
worse than the disease.
It is.
I mean, you saw that shit about SNL. They're letting people do live studio shows, but comedy clubs can't open.
Listen, I can fly to California right now. I'm packing a plane like a sardine right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally legal.
Yeah. I wanted to hear your opinions. And see, that's the thing. I've realized, Jersey Josh, the sports show, of all the different Brian Moreno shows, the sports show, people like the opinions and the commentary, and then they go to the picks. I'm doing less analysis. I'm bringing you and Vegas Al and a few other people, and we're giving more opinions. This is a real show that we got a lot of layers to it. Now hold on. Some college football. Do you any thoughts on USC UCLA going into the half?
I have UCLA big tonight. Big.
Really? Vegas Al also said that.
I'm going with small dick Chip tonight, baby.
I didn't know that was his nickname, dude.
Eagles won it. They won it with Big Dick Nick, so we got rid of Small Dick Chip.
Small Dick Chip.
What are you looking for in Philly over here?
That's so funny. Now, okay, let's talk about your Eagles for a little bit. Who's gonna show up this weekend? Do you understand? I had them +9 or so against the Steelers. I thought I was covering. I was covering, but they couldn't make a tackle.
I'm a huge fan of the backup goalie theory.
Yes.
So the first week when you're playing with the backup, I think the team is going to give it all. You're going to see Doug Peterson's best coach game. Everybody's going to play their A game. They don't have a good roster. Take the 7.5 and hold your fucking nose, man.
Okay, so this is something that I was just bringing up. Now, I hate when I walk into a bar and everybody's like, I bet the Bears. I hate betting the Bears because I feel like they're all going to lose. So everybody is on the Saints right now. 69% of the money's on the Saints. So I do like the Eagles because of that. But that was also the case last time I bet the Eagles.
Yeah. Well, I think they get a little. This for this week, actually. I think they almost win the game, which they don't need to be doing right now.
Yeah, they need to be losing games.
Yeah, I think Jalen Hurts gives a shot in the arm to the team. I think Doug Peterson coaches a great game this week.
Wow.
A lot of run pass options, couple little bag of trick plays.
Now, can Jalen Hurts really even throw the ball? That's my question.
We're gonna find out. Can Taysom Hill throw the ball?
Okay, now understand Richard Sarvate. Josh, Richard is newish to football this year. Like, I mean, he knew basic things, but he's really been inundated and has a lot of new information. But he's got a good perspective on a lot of things. The starting quarterback for Philadelphia gets paid about $30-some million a year.
Yep.
He's getting benched for the rookie.
Oh, fuck.
Yes, the rookie, Jalen Hurts, who's kind of small and he runs around.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows if he can even throw the ball properly yet. But he is the guy that's starting for the Eagles.
Why is he getting benched?
Because the Eagles are in shambles.
Oh, okay, so they're like,
You need to spark. And this is Josh's theory about backup goalie. When you bring in the backup, all of a sudden, all the defensemen are playing better.
Oh, shit.
All the offensemen, they got a little more pep in their step.
Damn, so you're taking the Eagles this week, Josh?
I'm taking the Eagles right now. I'm looking at it's 8.
Wow, Jersey Josh, yeah.
Eagles lose by 4 to 6 points.
Wow.
And they blow a late lead. Actually, they had the lead most of the game. They come out with a bag of tricks, and they blow the lead, and they lose by 4 to 6 points. I had a big play on Army. Army was my big play today. I mean, it's past the fact now, but
did it
Army
hit?
Oh, it was like 15-0, the worst football game you ever seen in your life.
That was one of those games I saw as the under. I only took Troy and a few other little ones today. I actually bet Kentucky against Notre Dame.
Okay.
And in college basketball. Now, my question for you: these college basketball players, they're being isolated. They're basically essential workers for these schools. Should college athletes be paid?
Yeah. I don't know how you gonna work out a pay scale, but they gotta get paid.
That's exactly what Vegas Sal was saying. But like, how are you gonna pay a quarterback and a point guard and a backup running back?
Most of them are getting paid anyway. So, I mean, the good guys, but you gotta figure out a pay scale.
Wait, the good guys get paid already? Like,
there's a lot of guys taking money.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shady things that go on, from boosters and getting loans approved, things like that.
Yeah.
Things that are very...
How it works is the agent floats you the money until you get paid, and when you sign a big deal, they usually pay the agent back. That's usually the way it works.
Oh, like an agent, they won't sign with the agent, but the agent will be loaning your parents money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It would be weird, though, if all the colleges started paying people, because, like, imagine Yale has so much more money than Fresno State. Dude, can you imagine Fresno State's paying their quarterback $1,000 a year? And Yale's
they would have to come up with, like, a salary cap pay scale. It couldn't be like, the Ivy League schools, all of a sudden they got all the money, they got all the players. It would have to work out something. Yeah,
because otherwise Yale would just get paid $10 million for a great team.
I would even make it, like, incentive-based. I mean, like, you score this many touchdowns, you get paid this. You get this many yards.
Oh, incentive. That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
Well, but then kids get pissed when they get benched.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, what do you mean take me out of the game?
Yeah.
I'm dating this hot new IG model. Like, you know how expensive dinners are?
Yeah, that's what they don't tell you when you get into sports, man. You're going to date some expensive women.
I think you're going to see the money in the sports are dying lately, I think.
Well, that's what
the NBA is going to sustain a year with no fans, man.
I don't know how the NBA is going to make a year not in a bubble.
Yeah. That's actually a great point. How much money are these teams going to have next year to pay players?
Well, did you see that Paul George just got re-signed by the Clippers for basically $40 million a year?
Wow.
And Paul George disappears in playoff games. I don't want Paul George on my team.
Well, their TV viewership's down 38%, and they have fans. I don't know how they're making any money.
$40 million a
Where the fuck is
year
that
for
money
Paul
coming from?
George? Well, the NBA salaries, it's so crazy the way it's structured.
Yeah.
But like Anthony Davis still made $30 million less than what he would have with his max deal if he would have signed in December of last year.
Yep.
But still, it's like the money in the NBA, there's no way.
It's like a bottomless well, dude.
Yeah, well, there's no way it's going to be sustainable without fans because the fans bring in so much revenue.
That's how they make the money, right?
You're going to see the NFL next year, the salary cap's going to take a huge dip. And then teams are going to be in cap trouble because they have to get rid of players because the cap's not as high as they thought it was going to be.
Well, that's
Your cap goes up when teams are making money. How are you making any money when you got these teams are losing like $1 billion a week in their stadium and sales and everything?
Yeah, that's a ton of money. And I've actually heard a lot of the prognosticators saying that a good landing spot for Carson Wentz is Indianapolis.
I love it. It's a great spot. I mean, he won. Frank Reich was our coordinator. He won us the Super Bowl. He called all the plays.
Yeah,
He's the one that got Carson Wentz, on a hot roll that year. That's a great deal, but he's untradeable. You can't trade him right now. Because the Eagles take a $40 million cap hit, I believe, something like that.
I know.
He has the fourth largest contract, I believe, in the league, and it starts next year. It hasn't even started yet.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable that's the thing. In most sports, if you pay someone too early, you usually get screwed.
Here's my prediction: what happens in Philly? You want to hear it?
Let's hear.
Jalen Hurts comes out. He's so way too early. You took the bun out of the oven too early. What you do is he's going to play one game. Carson's going to come back, have a little bit of fire under him, play pretty good the next couple weeks, not win, but play a little rejuvenated. They're going to go into the offseason. They're going to get rid of Doug, bring in a new regime, roll with Wentz for one more year, let Hurts marinate for one more year, and then you move Wentz the year after. That's how I think it's going to go. I think Hurts is too raw, and he's got nothing.
That's a really tough position for the Eagles right now. Like, they're just in a really tough place. Now, I don't. That's another. Speaking of big lines, though, I want to ask you about this because this is the one bet I liked all week, but I just don't. I don't like how everybody's betting it. The Tennessee Titans at Jacksonville.
Yeah, division game. That's a stay-away game for me.
It's 7 points, but the Jacksonville, they can't put together 4 quarters of football. You see a few downs every now and then. And, yeah, they came back against the Browns. They've kept it close a little bit.
Yeah.
But I love Tennessee. I this is almost a drive to Vegas.
You didn't give me any credit for my Moneyline Magic play of the week, though.
Actually, you did. Hold on. What is Jersey Josh right now?
That Redskins Moneyline I had the other night.
Wow, that was actually amazing. That was quite.
Nice that got me back.
You have quite the gambling record right now, Jersey Josh. You came in hot. You got good takes. You got great intro music. Now, what else? Okay, you took the Eagles. What else do you like?
I'm on the Eagles +8.
What else?
And this game, I'm going the Dolphins +7 versus Chiefs.
Wow, the Dolphins. Wow.
They're hot, Dolphins, right now. Sounds even weird saying it, but they're hot.
No, they are. They are.
They're playing good ball. They have good coaching, good young players. I feel like the Chiefs, they've been due for a loss lately, man. They're playing kind of crappy, but winning every game.
Well, I know. I mean, they looked very beatable playing Denver. Very beatable.
Yep.
I don't like that. That seems to be what everyone is saying. I mean, the money is pretty evenly distributed. So that doesn't worry me, but the Dolphins have the best third down defense, I believe, in the NFL.
Yeah, they're good, man. They're up and coming team, man. They have young players and whole new attitude there.
Wow.
And they're looking for a playoff spot right now.
No, they are. Do you think the Dolphins have a chance to beat the Chiefs? Do you think they can?
They're a live dog right now in my mind. Live doggy.
Wow. So, okay, let's hear what you got next, Jersey.
And we're going over to, I just had it up here. This one, Vegas has wrong. The Giants somehow beat the friggin' Seahawks with Colt McCoy, no Saquon Barkley in Seattle, 11-point dog. They win outright. I can't explain that to you.
Wow, so you think...
I think the Cardinals smack them. Cardinals are laying 2.5.
Yes, Cardinals.
I think the line is way off for some reason that game.
Well, I think the Giants, that's the one game where everybody thinks it's
on the cards.
Yes. Or no, the Giants. People love the Giants right now.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it myself either.
I mean, that game was a major upset in Seattle. To see Seattle lose to a Colt McCoy-led Giants team, sheesh.
Yeah. I can really see that. I can see that one. Now I don't understand if the Cardinals are good or not. I don't know, Jersey Josh. The Arizona Cardinals, they seem to be able to score points.
Yeah.
They seem to be able to defend, but they can't seem to do it consistently.
Yep.
And the Giants, I don't know what they have on offense. I have no idea how Colt McCoy won a game last week. But
the whole world took Seattle.
No, but they did. But that was another one of those games, and this is why
last week was a Vegas payback game.
This is why the Tennessee game scares me so much, because it feels like it's a payback game for Vegas. Like,
here's the thing, though. You got the Jags are in the Trevor Lawrence hunt.
I know. The Jaguars need to lose.
Like you saw the Jets You saw the Jets give up that freebie touchdown on the Raiders the other game, right?
Yes, like at the end of the game. Yes, but the thing is, the defensive coordinator got fired the next day.
Well, but he was probably,
compensated. It seemed like, because they want the Jets to
lose.
They
left Ruggs out there all by himself on some bum D tackle.
And I needed that to be to Hunter Renfrow. I had him in my fantasy. I needed like 3 points to win.
Sure. Sure.
So are the Jaguars and the Jets basically competing to see who's the worst?
Yes.
To get Trevor Lawrence?
Yes, they are. Yes, they
are. The Jets play the Seahawks. The Seahawks are laying 14. I mean, I toyed with that game. That's a guaranteed Vegas Al teaser right there.
Now what do you think happened? Now it's going to be 40 degrees and rainy in Seattle.
Yeah.
I don't like that 15 number. I don't
lay over 10 in the NFL. I have a golden rule over here at the Jersey Josh Casino. We don't lay over 10 in the NFL.
Is that going to be one of your plays?
No, I would never take the Jets. I'll stay away from that game. I'm just curious of what happens over there. But if I know Vegas Al, he's teasing that with something. He loves to tease the big number.
To make it like 20, to make it 22 or
so. He goes the other way. He'll take Seahawks -4.5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would love to take him at 21 or 21.5.
Yeah, but they'll get smoked. They'll get blown out by 30-something.
I know. It's just one of those that, like, the Jets, that was a demoralizing loss.
How about the Cowboys-Bengals with Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket, going back to Cincy?
And, Maybe Andy Dalton was looking ahead, but I thought the Cowboys were going to come out.
Me too. It's the Ravens?
Yes, yep. I thought they were going to. That was a surefire. They had so many chances to cover that game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and how about Zerline? The kicker for the Cowboys missing 3.
Greg the leg.
Oh, Greg the broken leg.
I know.
Oh, absolutely devastating. Who else are you taking? Anyone?
I got the one money line play once a week I give you, which is usually money. Take that to the bank. Oh, my computer's freezing on you here. Money line play of the week. I would go with where the heck did it go? Where are we here?
Don't tell me it's gonna be something like the Lions or.
No, I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings over the Buccaneers outright.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Yeah, Vikings are actually coming back.
Do you know you and Vegas Al have they taken all the same games?
Really?
Vegas Al loves the Dolphins, loves the Eagles, Vikings, Colts.
You might have hacked my computer, Vegas Al.
Wow. Wow. So this is a week. This is a week of combined. Now,
doggy week this week.
Now, the thing is about Minnesota.
I do have a live. I'm just throwing picks out to you, but I have a nice parlay, which in the NFL anybody could win. But I have a Eagles money line, I have a Bengals money line, I have Dolphins money line, and Vikings money line. $100 pays like $10,000.
Wow! Wow!
So that's my shot in the parlay.
Now,
right
the Bengals stand a chance against the Cowboys. I saw that team play.
Of course. 3-point dogs.
The Cowboys looked really, really bad against the Ravens. Like they were making mistakes that you don't make in your 14th week in the NFL season. Like
the only game I'm worried about that one is the Dolphins beating the Chiefs.
Well, the Dolphins seem like the popular play right here, but it seems like there's quite a bit of money on.
Hey, fantasy, I'm in the playoffs, and I got Mahomes and Hill as my 1-2. So I'm gonna be back and forth all day.
Wow, I love the picks. I love the insight, Jersey Josh.
We got somebody who wants to cheer in here. What do you say?
Let's hear.
Hi.
Oh, that's beautiful. One of Jersey Josh's wonderful daughters. She's not making picks today, is she?
My son right now.
Oh, that's your son. Is he making picks?
What do you want this week to win? You guys want to win? Buccaneers.
Aha.
His pick's the Bucks.
Wow.
He's going against you.
I like that. I like the Bucks this week on the bye. I'm going with Jersey Josh's son. Get him in the spreadsheet.
Wow.
Guess what? It'll probably be undefeated. That's the way it works, right?
Yeah, that's the way. He's calling you Mush Jersey Josh now.
There you go, buddy.
Have a good night, sir. I'll talk to you next
too.
week.
See you guys.
Man.
See, we bring you nothing but the best here on the Brian Moreno Show. Insight from all over the country, and
people's children are betting now.
Yeah, well, as you know, it's a tough economy. You gotta make it where you see it.
Are you going to get money in that college fund? How are you going to do it?
Yeah, how are you going to do it?
Listen, you can't go to college unless you win your college tuition in betting, all right?
What is your record, by the way, right now?
My record is 8-9.
8-9. Okay, and what is mine?
I didn't tally up yours for this week. So last week you were at 20-15.
21-15. I gave the one I thought. Maybe not. Maybe 20. But let's see. Give me
and
one.
Then this week you took Fresno State, right?
Yes.
Did you? Okay, so
yes.
Fresno State you won. Browns you won. The Rams you won. Eagles you lost. Patriots you won. And Broncos you lost.
Yes, I thought.
You went 2-4 this week.
4-2. Though you could take the
4
win
and 2,
first.
so.
Yes, the win first. So that puts me at around 24 and 17.
Yep.
Not very, very acceptable.
Acceptable, dude.
I have to say, my picks this week are a little different. I'm on Tampa Bay all the way. Tampa Bay, the Titans.
You're on Titans.
I absolutely love them, but this is a very tough week.
This is a super hard week, man. I don't know who to bet on.
As you get closer to playoffs, the lines get better because the teams
they figured it out.
There's so much more information. Yeah. You know? I'm totally against Jersey Josh and Vegas Al this week. I'm a little bit disappointed I didn't lay heavier on the Rams Patriots. That was
You really were all over that game. You really
I should have just been because I knew
bet the fucking farm, dude.
I knew. I mean, when you stack up team to team, the Rams have probably the top 15 players. Like, if you just to list them off by salary, I would say everyone on the Rams is better.
Damn.
I don't like that everybody's on the Jaguars, but I think it's a blowout. And
why are people on the Jaguars? Just because the line hasn't moved?
Well, not many people are on the Jaguars. The line just hasn't moved, which Vegas seems to think it's going to be closer. And they may be right, but teams at this point in the season, you are what you are. And the Jaguars, they cannot stop the run, and the Titans are going to run it down their throat. I love Tennessee. Like I say, I love Tampa Bay. I'm probably going to bow out from giving out picks Monday night, I'm still on the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills, Seattle. I like that very much. I don't think there's any of these games that are going to get me in my car and get me to Vegas tonight. There were more college games. If we did the show remotely from Vegas, there would have been a lot more action on college today than what professional is. Just because I think it's tough tomorrow. But if I'm going to give one more pick, the Arizona Cardinals. So that's 4 I'm giving.
You're going Cardinals, all right.
Yeah, Cardinals.
Yep. Cardinals, Bills, Titans, Bucks.
Yes. And it's all 4 favorites, which it's not necessarily my favorite thing to do, but this time of year, as we get closer to the playoffs, I don't think it's going to be a dog week. Mm-hmm. I don't think so. I think Kansas City, I think they're going to beat Miami by more than 7. I didn't like that. You know, obviously there will be dogs that win. There are always dogs that win. Always. But this week, the NFL, and I love the NFL so much because there's so much drama every game.
Oh, my God.
The new quarterback from Miami. I mean, the teams that because nobody is trying to lose in the NFL. Nobody's trying to lose, but organizations want to lose. The thing is that the players, the individual players, don't want their stats to be bad. They have money to make for future contracts.
Yep.
So it's the organizations that are like, play the worst players and your job is secure next year. I don't really know if that's the case in Jacksonville, though. The thing is, everyone in Jacksonville's playing Tennessee. I bet Tennessee. Everyone in Jacksonville still may be playing for their own pride and job. So they may keep it a little closer, but I'm hoping not. What are our professional amateur gambler, Richard Sarvate, who's 8-9. Now that you've made 17 bets, you see how hard it is to be over 500.
this is super hard. 100%. This is, I mean, I'm terrified to go in. I've had my heart broken. I was just like, oh, I don't even want to watch sports this week.
Well, and they pull you back in.
Dude, I am in an abusive relationship with the NFL now, just like many NFL football players' wives.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh fuck!
What are you taking?
Well, here's the thing. So I think the only information I really have is that the Jaguars and the Jets are trying to lose just so they get the best players. So I do think that the Jaguars will not play anything. So I will take the Titans.
Okay.
And I want to look at that Jets game. I think the Jets are terrible. God damn. So this is going to be... It's gonna. Oh fuck! They have a way of sometimes doing better.
They do. They've also proven that nobody can show up. They've also proven that this game could very well be 21-3.
Yeah, totally. Ugh, and and if that happened, I would kill myself, dude. I would murder myself.
Well, no, 21-3. Are you taking the Jets?
I'm not going to touch that game because I think the Jets, they have a good chance of getting in that pocket.
Yeah, and yes, they have a very good chance of not. Because right now the projected score is basically 31-16.
Yeah.
Right around there.
I mean, the Jets almost kept pace with, I forget, the Patriots, and it's like, okay, so now I'm looking at this, let's see, Saints-Eagles game. Saints, I mean, they're definitely going to win. Fuck, all these lines are so fucking, you hate all these lines.
It's not easy, Sarvate.
You know what, I'm just going to, can I just stick with that one pick? I
started by making you only take one pick.
Yeah, and then I got a little big for my britches.
Now we'll see. That's the thing. The minute you laid 5 bets,
that's when it all went downhill. Yeah,
I knew you were gonna get yourself into a little trouble because you can't just willy-nilly make 5 bets in the NFL. No, it's too hard. The NFL is a real hard place, and I hope this week we were able to be a little less restrictive for the people who aren't so gambling oriented but like to hear us talk and ramble. And this is a sports oriented show, so I'm going to stay true to that, but I want to stay true to my love for the sports and the purity of it, and the drama and the storylines and Richard Sarvate, I hope you had fun today.
I had fun. I was scared, but I did have fun.
As you should be. No, this is terrifying. I totally, I get pissed regularly because of this. I'm
like, tomorrow, will I have my heart broken or will I be happy?
I totally understand, Richard Sarvate. This has been a wonderful, sports spectacular episode of the Brian Moreno Show. Thank you all very much.